loose as you want to and walk around like the whole world, never matching iron with iron, never building yourself, just staying numb and staying happy. The thought that buying a house is like something that doesn't happen till 40s, 50s. And the thought that if you have to move, you gotta sell your house. Hola, so this is round 4 of Run Your Mouth, and today we're going to be talking about developing community. We got my friends Anant, Darius, and Tavia, and Ebony, if you didn't know. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because the last episode we discussed cutting people off, like when it's not good for your growth. But there's also, I feel like, a stigma, I feel like that's a good word, a stigma in society where like it's more exclude everything that disrupts your peace instead of like understanding that life ain't gonna be peaceful 100% of the time, and some things you may need to work through. Some things may be more beneficial for you to work through than to just cut off.
I'm old school, first off, so there's a lot of things that were established like in the older, like just even in like my parents' lifetime that were instilled in me. Whereas like you do your community, even though, okay, that may take away from what I'm doing, that may take away from my peace, especially the example of children. It takes a village. So like you can't just do for yourself, especially if there are children involved. You have to be able to be like, okay, I'm gonna work an extra shift, or I'm going to buy extra groceries, or I'm going to make sure I have time for me, my nephews, to make sure that, you know, they're taken care of. So it's like, yes, you have to be uncomfortable sometimes, and I feel like that was also part of the last conversation as well. That sometimes you do have to be uncomfortable in order to progress. Not saying that you have to put yourself in situations where you're struggling, but just being uncomfortable so that not just you, but those around you come up. Because what's peace if you can't be peaceful, at least with those you love, you know?
So I feel like the only way that you're going to get your peace is if you create the community. I think of it like building your garden. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Okay, so of course you know how I go every time I talk. Whenever you think about garden, you think of Adam and Eve, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. They were kicked out. Matter of fact, yeah, they were kicked out, and they were never told that they couldn't come back. They just didn't come back because of their different fears, right? Right now, we're living in a world with nothing but fear. Nothing but fear every single day. You're gonna die this way. You might as well not even do nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're trying to program into you. So I say by building your community, you're creating a garden environment, like
for
these
your
people.
mind.
The peace has to happen within self first.
Mm-hmm.
You have to find a place where you're like, I'm cool being this uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
After that part's done, now you start building other people that got skills related to the thing that you like to do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And in that moment, then you're building, like, this whole community now flows together. You know, they feed off of each other, and now we're just self-sufficient. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about. I feel like in order for you to get your peace, you have to build the community. So I feel like defining your peace, you ask what's more important, the community or the peace. I feel like it's important for you to define your peace and then create the community. I don't know if that answers that question or not. But yeah.
It does. It does. Did you have anything you want to add?
Yeah. So I kind of see it a little bit different, just slightly, but I think of it more as like, you have to evolve your community in order to find peace. Sometimes when you are creating that environment around you or that society, sometimes it takes growth of a society in order to realize what is needed in self. And you can't really always process self through just how it is. So if I'm trying to adjust who I am mentally, I can't just go around and adjust and then not expect, okay, wait, but I didn't see how Darius had to adjust real quick. why didn't I focus on the community first to then reflect on self? That then allows my inner peace to grow a little bit. Sometimes there's a satisfaction that comes with the other individual. We always find a little bit of happiness and joy when we help another person out, right? So it's like, if I helped out this person by like, helping out with a couple of dollars, or maybe I helped this lady bring her groceries in or something, that little bit of movement provided peace, a little bit of like saturated happiness. If a community can do that, how much will that bring within itself?
Okay, I want to go off of that. So, what I just saw, you were saying that, like you were talking about the inner working between the self and the community, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I see is a lot of times, a lot of people. It's always a small majority of people who have the mentality that's like, oh, I can create this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can create this. Everybody else is like, I'll go along for the ride. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you can't wait for them to be ready. You have to start creating. Like, you build it and they'll come. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel. It's like it takes it's only one Moses, you know what I'm saying? And it was only one Joshua that was gonna be able to lead Israel into the promised land. Like, it wasn't gonna be a lot of them. Matter of fact, Moses sent 12 spies into the promised land. This is the land that they way back. They was telling Abraham, like, this is your land. So this is his lineage. They're like, okay, this is our land in the first place. They got there, and it was like, oh, it's so many giants, it's so many this, that's all it is. It was like, we can't take it. It was 12 of them. Only Joshua and Caleb were the ones that was like, no, we can handle that in the first place. Even though they went in, like, it was 12 different spies that went in, only 2 of them was like, this is actually ours to take. Like, this is what's promised to us, and we can do it. So that's what I'm saying. We know that we need to build that community. But it's only going to be a handful of people that's going to really be able to see how to do it. And it takes for them to be like, I have to be alone to do that. That's why I say, plan out what your piece looks like first. You know what I'm saying? That's why I wanted to speak on it right there. I just think it takes the individual to switch their self and be what people say awoke now, to then go and free and wake up other people. That's how it sounds.
I feel like it's, in addition to that, like, it's also, you don't have to be just settled into whatever community that you're going into. You have to be willing to be like, okay, you know what, even if it's your family, like, hey, this community is not evolving with me. You figure out your piece, but even if you try to reflect that piece onto the community or try to build that community, if they're not willing to receive, then we have to be able to say, okay, it's okay for me to retreat from this community and go build my own.
Everybody can't be free.
Not everybody. Not everybody wants to be. Some people are very comfortable in just being like, you know what? I live a toxic life and I'm okay with that. And a lot of people are okay to just say that. But
if you're one of those people, you can have that shit.
Really though, because we don't want it over here, honestly. Because if I'm like, I love my family deeply, but I do know that in certain instances, in certain cases, in certain family members, I cannot always be around and I cannot bring them with me to where I'm going because they're just too comfortable being toxic. They're too comfortable being in this negative mindset, unhealthy.
You're comfortable being unhealthy.
And I want my peace.
Shit's personal, isn't it? She went right to the camera.
You know?
She's talking to somebody.
I really,
you know who you are.
I really said that because I feel like people have extra negative energy around the word toxic. And it's like, I mean, it's true. It's toxicity, but it's been spoken so much that I feel like toxic is just like, you don't like what I'm doing. But no, toxic is you're doing something unhealthy. So I just wanted to make that clarification.
Speaking on the toxic, okay? Okay now. All right.
That's a lot of disclaiming.
wait. All right. Look, a lot of people, we spoke about this before, but a lot of people are toxic because these are the patterns that they learned. The thing is that when you don't have control of self, like we said, you gotta be able to be at a certain mindset to be able to, do something great.
For someone.
Look, a lot of people are basically at the preset human condition right now.
Preset.
Which is the toxic conditions that we live in. That's what I'm saying, because this world conditions people to be that way.
Yeah.
They show you nothing but that.
Yeah.
They teach you nothing but that. They don't let you develop self. In school, there's no individual. you follow instructions. That's it. And that's half your life. You know what I'm saying? I've been to school for more than I've been a human. You know what I'm saying? I flipped that up. Don't worry about that. But you know what I'm talking about. I'm saying I've been in school for more time than I've been able to actually live my own life. You see what I'm saying?
I feel like both statements were accurate. No?
Since I woke up, let me say, because I went to a Christian school, so it was like rigid. I went to a Christian school and I went to a college prep school and middle school, KIPP Academy in Nashville. So I was institutionalized. It was like prison. It was like, you go here at this time. Like I was just following it. Now, when I came back to Georgia and I was in public school, I went back to that institution, which was, I played football. So it was the same thing. They was telling me what time, all these types of things, you know what I'm saying? And now when I was in college, I was able to be free. And that's when all the creativity started flowing, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like the preset human condition within this world, because I don't want to go there, physics. We know I was going to tell you I was going to go to physics. Can I go to physics? Can I say it?
I'm not mad at it.
Okay, well look, we talking physics. So boom, we know the third dimension is right now, the height, width, and depth, right? Boom. The fourth dimension is time. Am I lying? Boom. The fourth dimension is time, which means if there's a being that's past the fourth dimension, right? I say that love exists past the third and fourth dimension, which means it can be
infinite.
They say that if you can move in like the fifth or sixth dimension, it's like you're moving simultaneously through space and time at the same time. You know what I'm saying? You could be at multiple places in space time. You know what I'm saying? Because they say it's the same shit. You know, whatever. I said that to say, I kind of lost my train of thought, but I really didn't. Okay, oh yeah, boom, there it is. This is the line, fourth dimension. Love exists out here. If we're beaming with that, we're beaming with this specific energy, the energy that we woke up with, Now we're moving in a way that people can't even comprehend. Remember I said the preset human condition, which is toxicity, because the third dimension is a lower vibrational state than where our love and where our actual energy and where our actual essence is from.
Okay.
Which is why the preset condition is toxicity. So I don't blame those people. Like we do have to be away from those people to cultivate what's real for us. You know. But we gotta make sure that we can re-enter into society and bring those people with us.
Yeah.
We gotta figure out a way to.
Yeah, they just can't come for the ride.
I don't know. That made sense. Everybody made sense. That made sense. Everybody made sense.
It made a full circle. I got it.
Okay, cool. I was making sure I wasn't going too far and not tying up. They were like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? I don't know. You know, the comments be mean as fuck sometimes.
What I took from it was, and this is totally my interpretation, I could have had my own splice, but what I took was the people who are at the average frequency, I may not be able to bring with me while I'm trying to move. But if I find others with my similar frequency, we will, as people do when they move together, move farther, and then I can come back and get the average frequencies.
That's the shit.
But like if I try and pull the average with me, I'm not going to
gonna drag you down.
I'm not going to.
They can't move through the spirit, bro. Jesus only had 12 disciples for a reason. Everybody can't come. Everybody trying to be around him.
Only two.
You can't hang with him. That's what I'm saying. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's just different. It's a different way that you move. Everybody can't see it. Everybody can't feel it. You know, because they haven't cultivated that piece.
But I did want to ask a question because like I was following and like I really got, I feel like a good understanding of everything that was said. Your physics lesson was interesting, but I feel like I understand it all. But I wanted elaboration from Anant when you were talking about the example. I got a little lost when you said that you could go out and make changes, but you should consider Darius first before you make the changes. Could you elaborate, like, what context?
Yeah, so I'll explain it more, but with a little bit of backtracking. So going back to, like, the toxicity, right?
Yeah.
It's all, not necessarily self-produced, but it's due to the environment we're in. Community produces that toxicity on us. So if if change occurs within the community, then like by definition, change will occur to you because you're, you know, living with that community. You have like a little bit of, not say, but you're in that environment. So if I think of community as more of like, not necessarily a society or a group of people, but I think of community as like an atmospheric approach. Like this aroma that's in the room could also be considered a community. And what's going on in like this building or this structure or within this world, like Bucket or something, even though that's a society, that's also considered, okay, a community. There's different levels to that community too. So when small adjustments are made to like to the minuscule level, like I'm talking about like people, because I mean, if you think about society of 100,000 people, 1, 2, 3, up to like 10, 15 people isn't anything crazy.
Yeah.
But that minor drastic change could lead to community involvement, which then will lead back to self. So that's why I say like change within community, if it's positive change, hence brings positive inner peace. But if it's negative change, then that toxicity will build up and then there goes your inner peace.
So you're like, look at the community for how to change before change?
Yeah, because the community will ultimately affect your change. You could be this ray of sunshine and you could really have so much going on. Exactly. Like you could live in Seattle and be like, yeah, it rains like 300 out of the 365 days here. So I'm gonna be acting, huh?
I cry.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be depressed all the time, right?
I fuck with the rain.
But see, that's for some people.
That's the problem. 300 days out of 365?
I sit outside.
And your productive ass gonna sleep.
I feel great, nigga.
but that's what I'm saying. Because of that community, he'll see that approach positively. But someone like myself or you that, you know, we like the sun more than we do the rain or even snow or something like that. Because of that community, we know that our inner peace is going to be disrupted. I could have 5 heat lamps in my apartment
and
could have nothing. I could have a little sun in the center and be like, oh, I'm gonna wear shades today. I'm feeling good.
Stop the rain and bring the sun.
But that's just a small aspect of community, because community could be like, okay, I know it's raining, but the 5 people I live with are gonna make my day, regardless of what the weather is like. That brought me inner peace. My community here over-consumed the community out there.
You're talking about balance right now. I'm rocking with it.
So
here for it.
There's a little bit of stuff.
What you got to say?
I know you said something about balance, man. I feel like there's no. That if we create a little, and this is crazy, this is the topic right now when I'm free, you know, like I'm able to be here today. And this is the topic because I'm literally, I just finished the script, like I said, and I was just thinking about this whole thing, like that whole community piece coming from a world that's sending out constant negative vibrations every day through your phone. You'll see it. You'll see it every day.
Regularly.
So you can create this small community right here, and it's a bubble. And all around that bubble is so much negativity, so much darkness, right? So I want to ask y'all, because I got an answer. Because, you know, I wrote this shit, I wrote it, you know. Shout out Darius Thomas Productions. But I want to know what y'all think about that, though. I want to know what y'all think, like, towards the negativity outside of the bubble. Y'all can create a perfect world inside, utopia inside. But what happens when you go outside? How? I ain't gonna get no. I'm gonna ask that question later. Go discuss.
When I go outside, well, something that I've noticed helps, because like I have a short temper. It is what it is. Little things aggravate me. I know, right?
I ain't never seen that.
But so when I tell myself to enter the world like on neutral, like when I leave out my freaking house, everything I encounter is going to be on neutral. Someone like, let's say the road is a lovely example, so many examples, but like people decide they want to sideswipe me and almost kill me. I just gotta, they don't know me. They didn't intentionally try to kill me. They probably just looked off the road for a second and are back to their thing and going, well, if someone blows up on me in the store, she don't know me. she just literally saw me, hadn't even met me 30 seconds ago, and she just had some words to say. She could have had a hell of a morning. Because Ebony, you've had rough ass mornings, and you wanted to pop off on people. So I guess I just I called it being on neutral, but just emphasizing benefit of the doubt, especially if I don't know the person.
Are you saying that you're exercising empathy in those moments?
I wouldn't even call it empathy.
Okay.
Because I'm not necessarily trying to understand where they're coming from. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm cool, and I know it don't got nothing to do with me.
So do you think that by going out into this negative world, it's attracting so much negative energy, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think by going out in neutral, you leave yourself vulnerable to those attacks?
I feel like I'm more vulnerable when I go out as myself because I feel like my natural self gives a lot of positive energy naturally. Like I'm always smiling for no reason. Like I'm always dancing for no reason, singing. Like my energy is usually up, and I don't. I don't like going out and I'm giving good energy, or not even I'm giving energy. Just it's natural. I don't even gotta give it. It's just naturally leaving me. And so I feel drained when I come back, and good energy has been leaving me all day, but no good has come in. So I prefer to go out on neutral so that I'm not really affected by all that. I don't want to go out on bad.
It's the words. I have the words. I'm trying to see how to put them together. The way I see it, I am a light regardless, right? And you wouldn't light a candle and put it under a basket, you know? It's meant to be on the hill.
That makes sense.
So it's I don't care what the fuck they got going on. Cause this is my shit. I'm having a good day. Fuck you. I'm having a good day. You see what I'm saying? It's not even like it's leaving me. This shit is exuding off of me. It's like niggas can stand beside me and feel the shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to say it it's not like I have a certain amount and then I deplete myself. It's I'm constantly plugged in to the wall. I'm plugged into the socket at all times. So it's ain't shit leaving me. You might get some just by being in proximity or touching. Y'all know the story when the dude didn't even talk to Jesus. He just touched Jesus' shoulder. You know what I'm saying? He just touched his shoulder, and he got healed. Yeah, the robe wasn't even his body; it was his robe. And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying exuding that type. I can't never run out.
Well, see, I feel like it's also important to keep at the forefront that even though we may want like-minded people in our community, we're not the same people. True. So it's good that you're plugged in and your energy is not draining. I'll say in my situation, if my home environment is something that is beneficial or healthy for me, then I say maybe I'm closer to that. But there have been extended periods of time where I've been in a place that felt like prison. So to leave prison and then to have your energy drained and then to come back to prison, there's some things that I feel like I need to protect myself from.
Speak on it.
Until I get to a spot where I am healthy enough to be me everywhere.
Heard that last piece you said?
Until I get to a spot.
Until you get to a spot, right?
Yeah.
What are the elements that get you to that spot that allow you to be in a place where it doesn't matter what happens? This is it. This is what I say is what it is. What are the elements? I don't know for you.
When I have control over my
Do you ever have control of it?
No, what I'm saying is I never have complete control over the world.
So why?
Because what the type of control I'm talking about is my decisions aren't mine. And it's not decisions that other people should control. They're decisions that each person has a right to choose. But outside people are impacting it in a way that isn't voluntary for me.
I feel like I want you to elaborate a little bit more.
So in high school, it was the living situation. I go to school, come home, watch my sister, and it's more intense than that as I look back on it. But with that being my life and me feeling like I'm not heard anywhere I go, that's a situation where I did, because I was a child, I was just being me all the time. But like right now, in that situation, I really don't feel now. What I feel like isn't what I can do, but I don't think that I'd be able to go out on that tank. Or like when I was staying out in Lithonia with my aunt during COVID while she was pregnant. I'm not going out into the world.
That's what I'm saying. With a lot of shit you say
it's a lot of stuff in a lot of situations. And those were extended time periods. But like if I'm in that situation for a day or two, and the rest is like, because that's severely restricting my...
So when do you stop allowing your situation to control your peace?
That's what I was trying to say. Hey, come on. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When are you going to say, fuck you? You seen Juice, right? You seen Juice?
So the reason
answer that question first.
I've absolutely seen Juice. But the reason I didn't do that is because this family member who was allowing me to stay in their household while I go to school for the freaking free, I'm not gonna say fuck you.
That's not what it is. It's not the person. The person is not the thing that you say fuck you to. It's the situation. Remember we just talked about how these people are in their presets. That's not even them. You haven't even really talked to them.
Okay.
You talk to the preset that's been given to them by the white man. But whatever.
Alright.
So what I'm saying to you is
I'm Indian before it. Let's make sure I get that out.
I'm saying
Oh,
We're African Americans plus.
Yeah.
It's plus while James.
Oh my God.
I'm saying these situations. What we just talked about space time. We just talked about space time being damn. I look at it like elements and shit. It's like elements. It's like I can take this piece, I can mold this piece. Like they say, it's like just like you fold a piece of paper like this. You know what I'm saying? Like they talk about space time being like a sheet, like a fabric, being able to fold it. This piece going to time. I'm saying this whole physical universe is moldable like that. So I'm saying, when are you, like she said, when are you gonna make the decision that this is what it is? Even if the people, like fuck the people. It ain't got nothing to do with the people. These people are like, you seen the Matrix? It's like the Agent Smiths and shit.
I haven't seen it.
That's the problem. That's what I was
gonna get to. It's either the blue pill or the red pill.
That's it.
Like you decide what you want.
You decide if you make the decision that this is what it is. Hold up, man. I gotta go somewhere. Somebody talk real quick. I know exactly what I gotta go say.
And the white room.
No.
And the limbo slope.
No,
that's
not. But it does come down to that decision in the environment that you're in.
James 1:2, I'm gonna read. Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds. For you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given to him. But let him ask in faith, without doubting. For one who doubts is like a wave of the sea that is driven and tossed by the wind. For that person must not suppose that he will receive anything. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. Right now, you sitting on the fence. Why would you sit on the fence when you have the power to say, this is what it's going to be? And that's it. How did I, in the middle of COVID, how did I buy a 596 seat theater, put on a show? I hired everybody. I paid everybody. Nobody wasn't getting paid. I was getting paid. I ain't because like not one piece of unemployment. How does that go? You move with the spirit.
Okay. I don't know.
It's okay if
I'm
you don't know how to.
sounding like I'm just letting life run me over.
No, it's not that. It's not that.
That's not what I'm trying to say.
I don't know, because you might explain it better, because I'm over here, I'm hyped now. You know what I'm saying? I'm hyped now.
I have picked a side, and I feel like I don't let those outside factors control me. Like I do accept I don't let situations. I did try to do
That's
this,
true.
not to let situations affect me. But I'm just talking about. I know that that's a place that I've grown from, so I know that's still something that a lot of people still deal with.
Yeah.
So that's what I was mentioning. But like, I should have elaborated. Like, let's say the COVID thing. You did. So the COVID thing, I should have elaborated more. The COVID thing was the most recent, right? So I will say that I didn't let this situation like control me. Like, there are things I wanted to do that I knew couldn't happen yet, like at the time, and I might have felt helpless in that aspect. But as far as like me still being Ebony Joy Allen every second that I walk and breathe, that doesn't change. But like, I will adjust what I give to people. Like, if you're pissing me off day after day, I don't know what about me says piss me off, but if you do it day after day, you can't keep getting me, because I'm gonna get pissed that you're getting good stuff from me and I'm getting trash from you.
That's cool.
So those are the type of like adjustments. I mean, like when I feel like I can't be myself. That doesn't mean I'm letting the situation control me, but I feel like that's taking control of the situation.
Yeah, no, that's in that situation it is. Like that is. Like that's not a problem right there. You saying, hey, you ain't fucking with me, nigga, I ain't fucking with you. That's what you just said. That's cool.
Okay, community versus your peace. I feel like you touched on it a little bit in your first little round that you talked about.
And he
but
did too. And she did too.
We all
did too.
We all
That's what I'm saying. Go to the next point.
No, because we didn't answer the question.
What question is it?
Community versus your peace. Which is more important? And is that even an option? Because I feel like the question only leaves you with one or two answers. But life is dynamic.
It's peace.
That's what's more important.
Peace is more important, yes.
Okay.
Your piece or the piece in general? Because
Like-
the question is your piece.
Your peace.
You see, this is why we answer questions. 'Cause I feel like you're the only one who chose
I
your piece.
could have sworn we already answered the question. But let me tell you, your piece right here, that's the reason why you create the community. That's the reason why you put systems in place. That's the reason why you walk through processes to create your piece. Even though it helps the whole community, like he said. So either way you look at it, if whether you build a community or you build yourself, you're building your piece. Because it's gonna affect you in the first place. Your piece is more important. Tell me I'm wrong.
The average wavelength. You know what? This is what I meant to say earlier.
Talk about it.
This is what I meant to say earlier. We was talking about something. We was talking about peace and community.
Okay.
Everyone's definition ain't the same.
Of what?
Peace of community. Like everyone's definition isn't the same. My definition of community is people that have like aspirations, not necessarily similar, but we are pushing each other to grow. We help each other, we advise each other, and we don't let each other stay stagnant. So like I don't think
I like that. Go ahead.
You know, that's what I want from my community. But another individual who might
that's what I wanted to
in
see.
my
I wanted to see
community-
what their thing was of peace and community.
No, I'm saying another individual in my community, to them, peace may be not being bothered. Peace may be, yeah, I said I was going to do these things, I didn't do it. Yeah, I said that I was supposed to get on this and start working on this, I didn't do it. And now this person who's looking out for me is like having a conversation to acknowledge that the progress isn't going. And now I'm like, you're disturbing my peace, you need to leave. Now I'm fucking up my own community just because
They're not a part of your community. They're one person supposed to be a part of your community. Okay, look, your piece is this, right? This is here.
I'm saying if I'm the person doing wrong, telling the friend trying to like help me.
You're saying that
I'm the one who said I needed to do X, Y, Z, and I.
That's what I'm saying. This, even for those people, this might not be their community. That's what I'm saying. Your piece is the most important thing. Once you.
What happens if my piece, my personal piece, whatever that looks like for me, destroys the community?
that's not your community in the first place. You have to find your community. Look. If everybody in here is doing, everybody has a part to play, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's doing one thing, right? They're doing one thing extremely well. That's their part, right? If one person's not moving and it's affecting and it's like tearing down the overall community, clearly this person does not fit within this community. That's what I'm saying. And then look.
I'm listening.
and then that person, the thing is it doesn't vibe harmoniously with who they are in the first place. Correct. So that's not their community, and then they're not a part of our community. But it's okay. We can be cool. I can call you once in a while, but this is not for you. You know what I'm saying?
If that community is not good for you in essence, then do you suggest moving out of that community?
Definitely, I do. Because
so then my example to you for that is, let's say, for example, to use more physical substance,
let's talk about it.
A person of color moves into a white neighborhood and they're trying to establish growth. Or
that's why I was going to go anyway.
So it's like, but if that community, you know that community.
It's not for you.
It's not for you, but if you're trying to grow or advance or level up or in some type of form or fashion get up there, then what can you, but then that also comes back to, I can see where you could think otherwise, why didn't you just help your own community evolve prior to moving to another community? But then the other thought process to that could be, well, I moved to this community to understand, to grow thought process better, so that when I do come back to my community, they could level up too.
He just literally, you just had a conversation from my mind to your mind. Like everything you were saying, you was like, this is this. So you had a whole conversation. I fuck with that. You had a whole conversation with yourself. That's the shit. Look, that's exactly what I was saying. Look, if you don't understand something, if it's something that you're trying to build and you don't understand it, you definitely should go and study. I definitely say go study, right? But you know certain things are not for you. I would never move into an all-white neighborhood. I couldn't fuck with it. Not even because anything would happen. Just because that shit just doesn't sit well in my spirit.
Culture is different, that's it.
That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, I would never push away another black person. If I build a community, let's say I build a whole city, you know what I'm saying? And everybody's moving, everything is moving like a whole development, everything, I studied everything I needed to study.
You will never push away another black person.
I will not push them away because I understand the program. Because I understand, this is what I'm gonna say to you.
Go ahead.
Are you ready?
Speak.
The natural essence of black people, because we originated the earth, the natural essence of us is not to be malicious to each other. That was something given to us by the white man in the first place. It was never
malicious.
But that's what I'm saying. I will only have to push him away if he introduces these types of elements into the community.
Okay,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's not his natural essence. And we have to peel away a lot of layers in this country. They said, I think it was like, I don't even want to say a wrong number, but black people didn't start killing each other until recently, when we were put in these positions to have to. Any organism is gonna do that. You can study that shit in biology. Limited resources, limited space. Somebody gotta die. It's gonna happen. So it's not their fault. The only reason they want, like, I can understand a black person not want to ever work for the rest of their life. This shit has been hard as fuck. I'm not even just talking about black. I'm talking about, I know you know what the fuck I'm talking about too. That's what I'm saying. This shit is hard as fuck. This shit is for no reason. The world was not supposed to be this way. The world was not supposed to be this way. That's what I'm saying. That's why I say.
People who got there first.
Ooh, I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna say it.
But
I can talk about it.
But on that note, no, we're gonna save that for a totally different podcast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I could see that shit just
nigga, I'm gonna talk, bro. I'm gonna talk.
But okay, so just like you were saying, like, it's apparent in subtleties when someone's really not meant for the community. Yeah. But okay, let's go for something that's a little harder to see. Okay. Toxicity, because a lot of that I really don't feel like pops out until you get closer to a person. And the breath. That's a word. It's a word.
The
I'm
breath.
not saying the breath.
That's how we're supposed to pronounce it.
As y'all get get like deeper into connection with one another, that's really when like the unhealthy features start to pop out. So like with okay, so I guess what I'm asking with this question, for real in disguise, is what's more important, helping the toxic get to untoxic or preserving your health? Because like a toxic person, unhealthy person don't want to be unhealthy.
They don't know they're unhealthy.
They don't know they're unhealthy.
Sometimes
They
it's just
like
the environment.
they like the health that comes off from the people around them, but the things that are rooted in them can cause them to push what's good for them away, and then they end up staying in a not so great community because they were effing up the community that was trying to go somewhere. So what's more important, your peace? Because if we choose our peace, we're gonna keep being divided. We're gonna keep being divided.
I don't think so.
When I say that, I mean like how many clothing brands do you know that really only got maybe a month or two of inventory when they can all combine, work together, establish what they gotta establish, and be set?
Because no one wants to be monopolized. Because it's all capitalism at the end of the day. If you all come together as one, then no company is going to be able to go more, go less. There won't be like that interest from the people of like, well, I'm going to go shop at Adidas because Nike sucks. But if Nike and Adidas are not one, then it's like, I'm going to go try for a third. I'm gonna go buy some shoes at Gap.
But if Nike and Adidas combined have the greatest product and the cheapest price, why y'all gotta go somewhere else?
Because comfort kills. Knowing that this company has now aligned with another company, it's just like you wouldn't want, like for me, like I don't know, I wouldn't want to go for the most like top tier thing. Not saying that there's nothing wrong. Like, am I gonna have some Adidas Nike collabs, in the corner? Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna have a couple shoes, but that doesn't mean that's gonna be my thing to go to, because it's like I want that variety. I want something more, something different. Like, for example, my jeans. I used to only buy American Eagle and Levi's. I mean, the last couple of jeans I got were from Fashion Nova Men.
Say that.
From Fashion Nova Men. And they're comfortable and a hell of a lot cheaper. Like I saved like 20,
Sponsor
25
the podcast. Sponsor the podcast.
Right.
Go ahead.
And they're comfortable jeans. So it's like I would have never thought that, but I was just like, but this is just what I've been with. This is just what I enjoy. This is just what I want.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Like I got limited time. Really, the only reason I bought it, I had limited time and I needed a specific pair of jeans. And these were the ones that were gonna ship the fastest. So I was like, you know what? I never tried it before.
Comfort.
I'm gonna go to the city. Right.
Comfort,
yeah. Comfort would have killed me. But then I was like, let me take a risk. I was like, at worst, I wear the jeans once or twice to whatever event and throw them shits away. And I lose my $20. Or I send them back afterwards and be like, I didn't fit, and I just made my money back too. But I put the jeans on.
They gonna make you pay the shit.
And you fuck with them. And I was like, what's standing in front of the mirror? Like, shit, this shit look kind of nice. Let me go burn the whole fit. Let me go.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. And then I realized, I was like, wow, I was so stuck in this. I just wanted to wear these and only this, that I didn't even give the chance I should have. Or not even should have. There was another opportunity, but I never, it's due to the community environment. Everyone around me wears Levi's and American Eagle. So I'm going to be
the
wearing
majority. I fix your face.
Damn.
But I'm saying, I guess, in my specific community aspect, the people that I'm around mostly, they usually do wear just American Eagle or Levi or something like that. That's just like what their go-to is. So why would I want to disrupt what I have? But that could have been, but then if I really think about it, that could have been, I mean, it's not necessarily seen toxic because it's just jeans, but that could be a thought process. Everyone's wearing the same type of jeans. I'm gonna wear the same type of jeans because I want to fall within that same realm. But
or I don't want to be picked on for doing something different.
Right, like when people ask me where I got my jeans, I said Fashion Nova Men. What you got about? Right.
You gotta step out sometimes.
But okay, I feel like all that I understood, agree with, makes sense. But those are like big conglomerate things. Like they already got to where they are. What I was thinking about,
because he had an amazing answer.
It was.
But I want to answer.
What I was talking about was like, So there's black-owned athletic wear lines.
Right.
There are 15 black-owned athletic wear lines. They all have 1 month of inventory. They're all paying. Well, I mean, I'm down for having your own LLC, your own business, because you still need your money to come to you.
Right.
But you're all paying store fees, the bills, for rent, all of that separately. You're all paying site fees and all of that separately. You're all trying to build your audience separately. I feel like.
Think about it. Because she's smart. Because look, if you look at a TV network like ABC, okay.
And that's not to say you can't break off and do your own thing later.
A TV network will be different production companies under the same network. And they're their own production companies, like you said, but they all work to put shows towards this network. Boom, boom, boom. And now, because we have this network, people are watching this show, they're gonna see these other shows. Y'all see I Am Athlete, how they have NASCAR, they got NFL, NBA, different types of people. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. From that, we can all be paid by being a conglomerate, like you're saying. Like we're not a conglomerate on the sense of taxes or on it's only a couple communities within this world that allow themselves to trust each other enough to move together as a unit. Now, black people in this community, now I'm not leaving you out, but I'm saying I feel like your audience might be this. We don't trust each other because we feel like we're gonna try to get over on each other. But like I said, that is not the initial state of the black man and black woman in the first place. So if we're creating a community, if we're gonna say that we're creating this community for us to be free, for us to feel and move freely, we got all the money we need, everything. What it's gonna take is for you, the person that starts this, to create an environment where they feel free. You can't just say be free. You can't, oh, you're free, do this. Nigga, why would I? You didn't make me feel like I can. So, you know, the Jewish communities, they often come in and
that thing is lovely. That thing is lovely. Cause I don't gotta go to a bank. It's mine. It's me and my community.
Don't let me talk about it.
But that's what I be upset about when I'm like, you have 15 different of the same thing. I understand that there's unique, varieties and differences among the companies, but love, we gotta look at where we've been at in this freaking country for these past years, okay? Yes, trust is what's lacking. Like, I feel like trust is lacking, and that's why a lot of people don't want to like team up and come together. But also, like, what do you call it? Beneficial things, I don't want to say are always, but I feel like they're usually risky. Like, you didn't start your business playing it safe. You didn't meet your first customer playing it safe. Like, you didn't get your first freaking check playing it safe. Well, I mean, if you clocked in, maybe, but like, but, so.
I think another thing is a lot of people, and this is based on what I see from other coaches as well, but a lot of people, especially in the black community, also don't want to sacrifice. And I feel like people confuse sacrificing their peace for sacrificing, their time and efforts. And that's where there's also a disconnect. Because, like, one of my favorite movies is Crazy Rich Asian. Love that movie with a passion. And I look at the mother and what she sacrificed for her family. She, she dropped out of school, she got married, and she had children, and she became the spearhead for this power company. But she had to sacrifice in order to do that. Did she sacrifice her peace? No, she was happy with her decision. But to the outside world, it's like, oh no, like she sacrificed her life for the betterment of the family, of the community. So it's like that's when it comes to the question: which one's more important, community or your peace? Your peace is never in question. It depends on what you want to sacrifice in order to build that community.
Absolutely.
So I feel like that's a lot of people. It's not just simply trust, but also like what are you lacking? What are you willing to sacrifice? Because like you said, nothing's going to just come to you. Nothing that you didn't start your business just playing it safe. So you have to sacrifice. When you have to sacrifice, that kind of comes full circle of just being uncomfortable. Sacrifice your comfortability in order to build your community.
Please.
Talk that shit.
Because
talk that shit.
You finna sit here and be comfortable and sacrifice comfortability on the back end. You finna be comfortable now and be stressed the fuck out.
Like,
One
yeah,
of the main reasons why it's so hard to take a risk, excuse me, is as you get older, you have so much responsibility of other individuals. Like, it's one thing, I mean, you can take risk at any age, don't get me wrong, because like when my parents came and moved to Georgia, like they took $100,000 credit line and blew it on buying a gas station. That was it. And
That's a smart blow.
That's what I'm saying. That's a
but
smart
there was no guarantee to if this business was going to run. There was no guarantee.
Niggas need gas.
Right. They don't get gas. But the biggest thing that they had to overcome for the first few years was all, I would say like 80% of the customers there were white, and the previous owners were white. So when they come in, they already lost half their customers because who's this guy? Who's this guy over here? Right.
Like, what?
So then it's like you first have to deal with that. Like they would tell me all the time for the first 3-4 years of them living there, it literally was all our bills paid for the month, because that's the risk you have to take with the business when it first starts off. You are putting your entire everything, all 65-70 hour work weeks into this little bit of a business that you know is all that you have. That is like, you don't have a part-time job secured at JCPenney where you go look at these folks and be like, oh, I don't think that shirt looks nice. We have a large in the back. I'll be right back.
Don't come for my life. Please don't come for my life right now. Like,
but it's like, there's no security in that. Like, they knew, especially with like my sister and I, like their two major things was, all right, we got this business, we got our kids' food, and that was about it. That's all that they were worried about. That's all the bills that they had to pay at the time. There were other bills too, car, phone, all that stuff, but the majority was making sure that my sister and I had something to eat and that their business was still running. And so for the first few years, it was just that. But that risk was taken when my dad was like in his late 30s. Early 40s actually. They bought the gas station in early 40s, yeah. And so it's like, I think he was only 41 when they bought that gas station. And he was like, shit, I think I'm too old to be taking risks like this. But my mom didn't care because she knew there would be such benefit.
Yeah.
It looks hard now, every time you start anything new. And I mean, you can speak this from your personal experience. Anything you start looks difficult now, but then you reap the benefits, especially when you get back to your
So
community.
what we see, based on what he just said, it shows you one thing. The mindset is different.
Yeah.
All it takes is the mindset. The physical take care of itself. It's the mindset. That's why I say within our communities, it's like a specific person that needs to be in a different mindset to lead everybody towards that place. Because he's 41 taking those types of chances. Niggas is 23 not taking chances.
Don't want to do it.
Niggas signing deals to a record label that's taking 360. Everything you do, nigga, I want a piece.
Signing deals.
That's bullshit. Because they ain't never seen the chance taken.
Signing deals, but go buying a Sprite from the gas station for the person.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, just do this. I'll be right back.
That's what I'm saying. It's a mindset that needs to change. So I feel like I think the thing that needs to happen is within your community, you need to define your community first.
Okay.
You need to define your community, because if you define your community, if I know I'm going straight for the black community, I need to have an educational thing throughout. That, of course, niggas not gonna want to learn, but I'm gonna force niggas to learn in a fun way. You know what I'm saying?
That's smart too.
Yeah. It's a difference. It's a difference. We all know it's a difference.
Like, I gotta want it for you.
Yeah, it's like. I don't even blame them for being how they are right now, because I know what the world does to them. But I also say like, hey, my nigga,
you gotta want to wake up.
Free. We really free.
We really free. We really free.
I'm really trying to keep this shit slow.
I don't know before the camera died, but placing to your question of, okay, so when do you just like remove that unhealthy person from the community? Like, you have
Do I send you back to slavery?
No.
You can only want so much for somebody else until they want it themselves. You can Like, it's that old saying, like, you can lead a horse to water, but if the horse don't
They
drink.
can't drink, yeah.
That's
Like-
the hard part.
Yeah.
I hate to see my niggas in a bad situation
Yeah.
because I know how the world is designed.
Yeah.
Oh
The
man.
thing is, if
And I
you do
hate
your
to watch
part,
you make poor
Oh.
decisions.
if you do your part, that's all you can do. You just have to step back. At
That's
that
why I
point.
say it's a
Very
different
much.
mindset. It's like it's a different. When they came to Georgia, where they come from?
California,
They came from California, or they before they California.
India.
So they went from India to California to Georgia. That's already a different mindset. To be able to leave.
Already,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. To be able to leave where you've been at and be like, fuck, I'm gonna create that where I go. That's what I'm saying. It's a different. Oh, I'm so happy this is the group that we have for this conversation. I'm so happy this is the group that we have for this conversation.
Here for you,
Because
bro.
this is the type of shit that I'm talking about. Like, it's like a. Matter of fact, you go. I don't want to talk. Because if I talk, somebody will get mad. And it's okay. I'm good.
Okay.
Go to the next conversation.
Now, all right. The next bullet
it's the
somewhat
it's not-
contradicts
it's
the bullet before it. So right now, the culture is all about cutting off, and you rarely hear about coming together. I feel like that really ties into the decision. Not even the decision, but I really feel like that ties into what we were just talking about. Like, well, if someone's entered your community, something was like enough for y'all to benefit off of being in each other's presence. So when whatever pops out, and you're like, hopefully you tried to communicate it, and let's just say things aren't changing. So you rarely hear about I rarely hear about coming together. It's big cutoff season in America. Like that's just from what I'm receiving.
Say one wrong thing, cut the fuck off.
So
you cancel.
Except Kanye. Kanye avoids the cancel culture so beautifully, but why does he do that? You talking about cutting people off. How can he balance himself?
That
the way
man's
he does?
intelligent as fuck.
That's what I'm saying. It's like sometimes people are stuck in the programming like we talked about, right? And they'll see something, and they see this action as, oh, we need to cut him off because of this whatever reason they have. But then it's like the next step that person takes is like, oh, it really wasn't what I thought it was. It was
baby
this.
has not
They're
taken
thinking.
another step yet. He keep going down the
Hey.
fucking stairs.
I
the baby.
just heard his LA leakers, and that shit put him back on the upward trend for me. I'm not gonna lie to you, but because he back to just rapping. Stop all the bullshit you
He
talking
back
about.
to just rapping?
He back to just rap, nigga, just rap.
Last week in the bowling alley on the lane.
Ah, that nigga got his ass beat. He got his ass beat. I saw it. I watched it. We don't know what happened before the video. I don't mean to sound like an officer or nothing, but we don't know what happened
All
before
I'm
the video.
saying is, okay. I don't know how many people end up seeing this.
I
but
just never want to put my people away.
Unpopular opinion.
Go ahead.
Okay, most of the famous people in the black community, mainstream that too,
Yeah.
in the black community, when other countries look at media and they see you showing your ass in a fucking bowling alley, and then I walk down their street and they treat me like you, and now I'm dead or in jail, because no, you didn't just treat me like that.
Okay.
See, like, I have a real problem with that.
Well, now we gotta talk about the stuff that I didn't want to talk about because I know people gonna get mad, but it's okay. We have to talk about it. We have to talk about it. When we talk about people's presets, right?
Yeah.
Talk about people's presets. We talked about how your father can have that type of mindset, coming from India to go to California to come to Georgia, and that's the thing. Our people don't have that mindset because of what? It wasn't designed for them to have that mindset. Okay, let's go back. We look at Israel. I'm not talking about the state. I'm not talking about the place. I'm talking about the people that's described within the Bible, the Torah, the Tanakh, and the Quran. Okay? We look at the people. We look at the description of these people, right? We see the things that are beyond them if they're not following the commandments. A lot of people in the world are not following the flow of what the Spirit should truly be in the first place. So it says that these I don't want to say like, being condemned. What are these curses? Those type of things. Boom, will be upon you. you look at those curses and they only fit, if we're looking at the tribe of Judah, we see the black people in America represent the tribe of Judah. Everything that was spoken on the tribe of Judah is there. We have all the leadership capacity. All the rest of the 11 tribes are supposed to listen to what we speak on in the first place, which is why the entire world is on our fucking head. Mm-hmm. Like, no, go, be down, be on this. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. It's fake. This is not even real life that we're living. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying, I don't blame them. I don't blame the baby for being how he, because we don't know what the fuck happened in that bowling alley. But we also know that the way that he was, the environment that he was in created that person that he became, which is why he had to beat his ass. I don't see why I would have to tear down another black man or black woman in the public eye. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with that at all.
But his song put him back up for you.
But I'm saying I saw both things at the same time. Oh shit! Don't talk about Robert, man. They drop a new episode of the Cosby Show. We running back.
It's just and honestly.
No, I'm watching the Cosby Show. I'm watching the Cosby Show because. All right. Quick side note on Bill Cosby. Bill built a generation. And he did some bullshit. Which is true. However, the shit that he built
was so much more.
He was so strict
than the bullshit.
He was so strict on these kids. Like what's his name? On Martin. He was on Martin too. Cole on Martin.
Cole?
Because he was on the Cosby Show. But the thing is, he told him to cut his hair.
Was he Roach?
He was Roach. He told him to cut his hair, and he was like, "I'm not cutting my hair." He fired him. Because he had a specific standard of people. If we're going to be on TV and we barely have time on TV, this is how we need to portray ourselves on TV. We need to be this, and this. He created that. That's what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying?
How can you say that statement after we just had this conversation about the baby?
What you mean? We need to portray ourselves as specific people. That's what I'm saying. You're right. Okay. You're right. I'm saying it was his conditions that created that person that he is. Which is why they see those types of videos. Okay. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Relax. Yeah. How do you build a community that fits you when your environment doesn't provide it?
I don't know if I really heard too many answers about coming together.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, why don't we hear about coming together, especially for the black community? Like, all you hear about people tearing each other down.
Mm-hmm. If we come together, the entire world falls. For us to come together, it takes for us to become a specific version of ourselves. The best version of ourselves.
The entire world. So the world has been on black people just suffering?
Because it's the tribe of Judah. If Judah goes, what happens is the entire world crumbles. The return for us to become who we're meant to be, that's basically the return of Christ. The return of Christ. It's not a physical thing, it's a spiritual thing. The revolution doesn't happen. The revolution will not be televised. That shit happens mentally in the first place. Mm-hmm. So that's what happens. That's why this shit is designed for us to be in a specific place. But we have to feel a specific way. Because if we don't fucking move, nothing else ever happens. None of the Hispanics move. None of the Caribbeans move. But when we fucking move, this shit is shut down. This shit burns the fuck down because this system is fucking broken in the first place. Can't shit stand up to the tribe of Judah. It said that Judah was going to have a scepter. It was going to have a scepter. It was going to be able to decree and declare shit, and that's it. That's it. You know, Moses was from the tribe of Levi, which is now modern day Haiti, right now. So if he was able to do that from the tribe of Levi, which is the Haitians, shout out to my Haitians. Imagine what Black Americans can do right this second. Mm-hmm. The tribe of Judah is where David, Solomon, and Jesus is from.
Paul? Saul?
I said
Solomon.
David.
You said Solomon.
Solomon. David.
You said Paul?
David, David and Goliath. Solomon, his son, the wisest man. And then Jesus Christ himself was from the tribe of Judah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, why you think
I'm debating so hard if I'm gonna leave that shit in there?
We got to, bro. No, wait. Even if you cut this out, I want this part. Look, it's time. It's a different time right now. It's a different time. What used to be is not anymore. It's time to mold the future. And the only way to mold the future is if you mold your mind. You take those fears that you felt like you had, understand them, break them down. Why do you feel that way? You only feel that way because this was told, this was told, this was told. Understand that. After you understand that, you can set goals in direct opposition to that fear. And as soon as you set goals in direct opposition to that fear, you create a system. And that system then fights against that and goes towards that goal. And the only way that you can run that system is if you have processes. It's that simple. It's that simple. Go ahead and talk. You can cut out whatever you want to cut out. I needed that part in. They need to hear that shit.
No, that's super important. Because like once you figure out the root of what triggers you and you have those things in order, I'm not saying life is a breeze, but you know how to go about the
bullshit.
The
bullshit. Fuck them.
It comes daily.
Fuck,
and like
man.
when you have a system, you know how to navigate it better. And I don't think a system is just ignoring it. So
True.
if that's your system, scratch. Go back to the drawing board.
Fuck that. That's what Kendrick said. That's all I'm gonna say.
8 doobies to the face.
We ain't playing no music,
12
man.
bottles in
Music
the case.
ain't gonna lie to you.
2 pills and a halfway. Can't
Fuck
copyright that.
that.
But shoot, I don't know if we really finished on it, but I'm kind of satisfied. I'm not gonna lie.
Not gonna lie, I am too.
All right. So how do you build a community that fits you when your environment doesn't provide it? The only thing I can really think of is going to events that you like to do and apps. But I don't know if those are like.
But then again, with the app, it's a whole business thing with apps. People are really specific and not specific at all with what apps they put on their phone. So it really just takes a huge marketing push. If you tell people what to think, they're gonna think it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just saying, I wish that people would think, that's not gonna happen. If you actively say, this is what I want people to think, they're gonna think that way. Which means, okay, it's like you say that this is this app. Well, boom, let's get a thought leader in this specific space. You want them to think 3 things? Let's say that one thought is Black community unity. Then you go and get, okay, well, I'm gonna pay Dr. Umar to speak on this app right here. Because if Dr. Umar speaks on this app, then all those people that follow Dr. Umar are gonna follow. And all it takes is for you to understand the psychology of a person, of your specific group. It's simple. It's not even hard anymore. Because we have people think only what they're told to think. And if you're a person that can actually think for self, you can mold what the community thinks in the first place. It's that simple.
I'm so glad that you said a specific sentence. Oh my gosh.
Which one?
This goes back.
I don't know.
This goes back to when Tavia was talking about like why don't we hear
Shout out Tavia.
like why don't we hear about people coming together? And just like cause it's built for us not to hear. Okay, these are all things I've noticed. Take it as you will. Our music has shifted from variety to
just one
crime. I don't want to reckless sexuality and reckless spending, frivolous spending.
That started in the 90s.
That's music, okay? And then school teaches us to figure out what career we want to be in the second we understand how to think. What do you want to be when you grow up? All right, now I'm thinking I want to be a doctor. Now I'm thinking, what do doctors have to have? Good grades. So now I'm focusing on my grades
You're
all
a slave.
13 years of school.
You're a slave.
And honestly, I can't blame anybody because it all happened before they got here. But you know, parents, take into account what you weren't taught in school and teach it to your children before high school, you know? But like, what else? When we took freaking econ in high school, they for sure taught me how to plan out how I was gonna pay back my student loans. Like, why are you teaching me all these things that are surrounded by debt and limitations and teaching me unproductive things? Yeah, I might enjoy drinking, smoking, sex, spending money, but none of those things bring anything positive or healthy to me. So why is that 90+% of the media.
They taught you how to be a consumer. They didn't teach you how to.
They taught you how to fear relationships, how to fear being in relationships, because it feels like you're being tied down. But you can be loose as you want to and walk around like the whole world, never matching iron with iron, never building yourself, just staying numb and staying happy. The thought that buying a house is like something that doesn't happen until 40s, 50s. And the thought that if you have to move, you gotta sell your house.
The world is fake.
Like, just teaching how to keep yourself in an endless cycle. So I just want everyone to just wake up if you haven't. If you feel like I'm asleep, wake me up. But just put more effort towards it, because it's aggravating. I'm not gonna lie, I get genuinely upset.
Make that the opening of the, like, everything you just said, make that the opening of the video. I feel like people really need to hear that, in all honesty. Like, it's just, you're being brainwashed from the moment you step
and you like
into
it.
school. Exactly.
Shit's fake, bruh. If it's fake, then you can mold it as well. If they've been molding it, you can mold it as well. It's that simple. It's that simple.
Why would you save money to buy chains when you can save money to put a down payment on an asset that's going to be yours forever?
Generational wealth.
That's going to be yours forever. And then off of 1 month of your get back from that asset, get you some freaking change.
What Kendrick say? He said, in Wesley's theory, everything you buy, taxes were denied. Wesley sniped your ass before 35. That's what he told you. Wesley's theory, he didn't pay taxes. That's just another way for this
The rich to
system.
stay rich. The rich to stay rich.
You heard what she said. Because I was going to try to say it again. I was like, nah, I can't say that again.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead and tell me.
That is so empty.
I just want to say a little bit.
Okay, and the last little bullet, what community looks like versus what it should be. Okay.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So our first thought when I see this, really, when I think community, I don't know why, because my friends, I'm in more contact with than my family, but when I think community, I think family and like how the family is set up and structured. And so right now, to me, community looks like what, I shouldn't say right now. Yeah, okay. Community looks like my family tree. And then the friends of the family, things that I grew up through and they just came to me. Now, when I came out to Atlanta in 2016, I'll say I started building my own community, but I still say up until like at least 2019, 2018, I wasn't like being intentional about the people who I had in my community. I was just...
Well, that's what college does. It sends you into an environment where you're surrounded by so many different types of communities. Mm-hmm. That's why I think in college, it's not necessary to build your own community. It is necessary to build your own peace, but not necessarily your community, because you want to be submerged with this variety. What I learned, like for an example, in high school, I had a very negative thought process against people who were gay, because like that's just the environment I grew up in. It wasn't until I got to college that I realized I was completely wrong, and this is what I needed to be submerged in. But it wasn't until I was allowed that opportunity to be in that space to understand it.
And you in Atlanta, so
right. So in Atlanta, you really can like. So right. So it's just like those different varieties of communities are necessary in that time period, because that's when you can really make that decision. Then as you get closer to ending your collegiate career, if you choose to do so, or if you leave, you don't necessarily have to finish college. You don't have to go to college if you want to. But if you choose to go to, yeah, like I mean, I enjoyed it, and the communities and everything that we learned about it, and all the people that we met and stuff. That's what has created that foundation now, to where when I meet someone, do they not necessarily check off these specific things I'm looking for, but when I meet a friend, it's like, okay, because I have this thought process of who I've met, these hundreds of different people. Now I know going into the real society, the real understanding of things. Okay, now I know who I can mesh and not mesh with. But a caveat to that is, one thing I really would want in my own community is someone like an enemy, if you will. Not necessarily like an enemy, but I need someone.
Basically?
Huh?
It's basically an antagonist, not necessarily an enemy. Just
No,
someone to
fortune keep
challenge you.
changing.
Exactly. Because I know if I'm surrounded by only the community that I appreciate, I'll still level up, but I won't level up
I feel that.
at that pace where, like, if I have someone that I know is like
maximum leveling.
exactly.
Like you're
Like I gotta have someone, but then they won't ever know that they're this type of person,
Yeah.
because it's like, you know, we're always cool, we're always talking, but in my mind it's like, I know they're doing this, but it's not like a jealousy thing, like, damn, they're doing a lot better than me. It's like, I know they're doing this and we both start off here. So now they're gonna be pushing me because now I know what I need to get up to because I see someone else doing it.
Would it be better to say someone who's like not competing with you, but someone who's always either pushing past or pushing to where you want to be? Because like when I hear antagonist, I hear like I'm finna disrupt your whole everything you got going on, and I'm finna be the protagonist. That's what I think.
I think not necessarily antagonist. I want someone like an anti-hero. Like I need like a Deadpool or something like that. Someone who I know is doing the same thing I'm trying to do, kind of, but has a complete different approach to it. Like Deadpool, this man is considered a hero, but the way he takes on that hero role, right? Like this man just be shitting on other people for no reason. But that's just who he is. But also, he does his role well. He knows what he has to do at the end of the day. Like if he has to save these people or do whatever, or get to the bottom of whatever, he knows he's gonna get it done. But he just has a complete 180 approach to anyone else's thought process. That's what I need in my community. I know someone that's gonna force me to not think the same.
I like that.
As that, so.
I love getting different perspectives.
Right, because that will constantly disrupt my peace. But that's what I need. I'm the type of person where if I have too much calm,
something's not right.
Yeah, if everything is going really smoothly, that's either a good thing or a really bad thing.
You'll be like, do I want to wake up tomorrow? I just feel like
you ain't gotta do shit because everything is handled.
I feel like there's gonna be a boot on my car.
You gotta
like
keep going.
The second I go
I
out
agree with
there, and then that's $75. What 30 minutes
That's
after I
such
wake
a
up?
waste of time. Damn. Yeah.
But that's just how I see it in a community I would want to build.
Same.
Or like understand. I want people that are gonna constantly push me. I want
I like that.
you know, the people I really care about there too, because you know we're all trying to level up. But I need that pushback. I need something that's gonna constantly make me reevaluate. Because at the end of the day, comfort kills.
Comfort kills.
That's the name of the episode. Comfort kills.
KK.
Okay. Yes, sir. All right. This has been an amazing episode.
It has. You know, if you got anything that you feel like maybe we missed, or maybe something we didn't elaborate fully on, you know, drop it in the comments. If you want to just continue the conversation in general, I'm down for it. I love combos like this, obviously. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you next time.